Okay, welcome back to the Elevate blog. I'm here with Lisa Wood today, and she's going to talk to us about being an English teacher. Lisa, are you in Spain?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I've been in Spain for a long time now. So I actually teach part of part of my working life is teaching in a secondary school in Spain, and then the rest of the time I work online with adults. So
Oh,
quite different.
yeah, yeah, you've got a good mixture. Okay, so tell me about your adult students. What kind of people are they? What do they do?
Yeah, so I work with most of the people I work with are professionals who are at intermediate level, or sometimes above, but they feel stuck. And although they often believe this is because they don't have enough language, they soon realize after working with me that it's probably not the language, and there are other things there which are holding them back. So I work a lot on mindset with my clients and my students. Um, I kind of I put a name to the approach that I have quite recently, because everything just seemed to sort of fall into place after so many years of sort of testing things, trying things out with students and myself as a language learner. Um, I I've come to realize that I think that there are four pieces to the fluency puzzle, and we only tend to work on one in classes in the education system, which is the language. You know, the vocabulary, the grammar, pronunciation. Um, but I believe that there are four, and obviously the language is one, but I always start with mindset, because I think no matter how much language you have, if you're not in the right place, you don't have the right mindset, and you have things which are holding you back, like confidence issues, negative past experiences, maybe from school, then all that language that's in your head, you're not going to be able to access so easily and get it out into the world.
That's so
So
true. Yeah.
I always start with mindset, and trying to help the people that work with me identify any things which are holding them back before we go on to work with the language. But I also think it's really important to have a strategy which gives you direction and focus. Because if not, you can end up doing a bit here, a bit there. And sometimes that's why people feel stuck, because they feel like they're going around in circles. We're all busy. And especially, professional people that I work with, they often have a full-time job with lots of responsibilities, but they need English, and they know it's important, but is how do they fit it into their lives? So I try to help them fit English into their lives in a way which is enjoyable, so it doesn't feel like another thing on their to-do list. There's already enough of those things.
Mhm.
Um, and, to create an action plan. So, what's priority? What will help them move forward? What do they need in their situation? So that's three, I think.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the last one is community, because I think the mindset, working on your mindset and overcoming those obstacles, learning new language in a natural way, creating an action plan and keeping accountable, so sticking to it. I think that these three things are made much easier if you do them with other people. So that's where the community element comes in. And I mean, I do work one-to-one with people. Of course, I do one-to-one coaching packages, but with all of those coaching packages, they get free access to my membership, my community. because obviously that's the piece which is missing when they're only working with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's them. I call it the calm way. So it's C for community, A for action plan, L for language, and M for mindset. Even though I've told you them in a different way,
Yeah.
because I always have to start with mindset, because I do think that is the key piece which helps everything else fall into place.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. For me, I'm quite into the community aspect myself. And I often say to learners, do you have friends to speak with in English? And like, no, not really. But if you're only speaking to your clients, then yeah, English is going to be kind of a scary thing. You need that,
Yeah,
those friendships as well to work with your
no,
English.
absolutely. I think both of those things which you've just said are so important, and key to learning a language. I think, one is having that safe space where you can just use your English without fear of being judged. Because when you're using it in your professional capacity, you're maybe worried what your boss might think about your English. Does he think it's not good enough? Or what do my colleagues think? And comparing yourself to other people. Whereas if you have a safe space, a friendly space where you can just, go and enjoy using your English, it helps you to build confidence, so that then, you can use it with much more ease in your job, or whatever situation you're using your English in. And the other thing as well is, you know, why are we learning a language? Like you said, one of the main reasons is to make connections and build relationships, whether that's relationships at work or just making friends, and even when we're at work, part of being at work is the social side. So it's not just the professional side and doing our job in English. There's also, standing at the coffee machine and having small talk, or maybe socializing outside of work. And English is a really powerful tool, but we we're so reluctant to use it sometimes because of that fear of being judged. So I think, yeah, you're so right in those two aspects.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think you've got yeah, those four things are really key, aren't they?
I think so. you know I'm a language learner myself. I started learning French when I was at school. I learned German, very traditional way, textbooks. I learned the grammar, I learned the vocabulary. And then I went to study French at university because I loved learning languages. And I decided I wanted to be a French teacher, but I just wasn't confident enough. Even after so many years,
Mhm.
10 years or more, I'd been learning French. But because I'd been learning the traditional way, just with, focusing on the language, I didn't understand why I couldn't use it freely in a conversation after so
Mhm.
many years. I
Mhm.
thought there was something wrong with me. And really, the thing that was holding me back was confidence. I'm quite a shy person, or I used to be much shyer than I am now, actually. But it's been a work in progress, because I've been able to sort of, since realizing what my problem was, and then getting interested in coaching and the neuro language coaching side, looking at how our brain works and how we can
Mhm.
help ourselves. I've been able to, I suppose, coach myself. And I'm not perfect. It doesn't mean that every day I feel super confident, speaking Spanish when I have to speak Spanish now because I live in Spain. But I'm much better at identifying why, and then working on that, and overcoming those obstacles, and telling myself, right, you don't be silly. You have to, you can do this. You know, um, but it's not easy. It's not easy, and it's especially not easy because we focus on the language only and we don't take the whole thing into consideration. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. I was going
Yeah.
to ask you about the neuro language coach you are. What does that mean as being a coach? What does a neuro language coach do?
Yeah. So it's kind of there are three principles really. So is the neuro side is related to neuroscience and the brain. So looking at how our brain actually learns and how we can learn more effectively and efficiently, using the power of our brain, because we've got this amazing thing inside our head that is so powerful, but we don't understand our own brain, so we can't maximize its potential. And you know even if we only know a few key things about how our brain learns and likes to learn, we can actually put that into practice and really help ourselves learn faster and better. So that's the neuro side. And then the language side is obviously the traditional language learning, so dealing with the vocabulary, the grammar, the pronunciation, but in a brain friendly way. So breaking language down so it doesn't seem overwhelming, not studying rules and expecting that we apply those rules then into a conversation and suddenly we can speak,
Mhm,
have a,
mhm,
have a conversation. So the language, obviously, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're trying to help people improve their language skills. And the coaching side is compared to traditional teaching. Now, I mean, it's a continuum. I think there's traditional teaching and there's pure coaching on the other side. And then, in the middle, there's all kinds of things. And I realized before I trained as a neuro language coach that I was kind of doing a mix of teaching and coaching.
mhm,
I suppose that's what attracted me to do the training, because I was one of the things I really believe in is that learners need to take responsibility for their own learning.
mhm,
As teachers, we can't do that for them. We need to help them to become autonomous. And sometimes, where, I mean, as teachers, we kind of expect things of our students sometimes without giving them the tools that they need to do that. So
mhm.
we might say, right, okay, go away and study vocabulary. You've got a test tomorrow. But maybe our students don't actually know how to study vocabulary.
Yeah. Yep.
What's the best way to study it? What should they be doing? And we
Mm,
kind of leave them to their own devices and, expect that they'll be able to do it. So, coaching is about helping people reach their full potential by giving them the tools they need to learn how they learn best. Because everybody's brain is unique, at the end of the day. We don't all learn the same. So, helping them to see different ways of learning and studying, different strategies that they can use, and then allowing them to choose what works for them. So it's very much student centered, student directed.
mhm,
With there's that famous phrase I really like, which is that it's rather than the sage on the stage, who is the teacher who knows everything and passes on that knowledge to their students, you're the guide on the side. So you're the person who is listening as a coach, listening to your students, their needs, what they want, what they're interested in, and helping them to form their own strategy and basically helping them, on their own language learning journey, because everybody's will be different.
mhm.
So if
Yeah.
that's a bit of a long-winded explanation, but
It's really interesting to know that. Okay, so speaking about students, can you think of any students that you have had that who've had that kind of breakthrough through with you, or you've seen go on the journey? Any examples?
Yeah, I've recently worked with a client who has a really good level of English, thought that she needed more advanced vocabulary to use more advanced grammar structures, because she has a really good job and she needs English to use. She uses English in her job to speak to people all around the world, and she felt that her language. She felt that she didn't feel confident because her language wasn't advanced enough.
Mhm.
But what she really, when we started working together, what she discovered was that one thing that somebody said to her more than 20 years ago, when she went to the UK to study, had stayed with her for all those years and not allowed her to move forward with her English because somebody had suggested that her English wasn't very good. And had the nerve to tell her that to her face.
Mm.
And she kept that with her. And rather than being able to, at the time, say, well, that's just one person's perception, and,
Mm.
um, I shouldn't listen to that and I shouldn't let it affect. It had stayed with her. No, you can understand. It's happened to me when people have said things about my Spanish, or and you're like, you know, and it really affects your
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah.
But that had stopped this had stopped this woman from really progressing with her English. And she said, oh, if only I'd been able to realize all of this 20 years ago,
Yeah.
where would I be now?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Goodness.
But the
Yeah.
good thing is that she has realized, and she now knows it's not her. It's not
Mm.
about her. It was about
Mm.
somebody else, giving their opinion.
Mhm.
And it wasn't about her English, which is amazing, her English. So yeah. And it's like when you unlock what's really holding you back, that's when the language just sort of almost gushes out. It's like
Yeah.
you're kind of opening the gates.
Mm.
You've
Yeah.
kept them locked, and then you're opening the gates, and you're freeing all that language which is there,
Mm.
but you just can't access because there's other things which are stopping it from coming out.
Right. Yeah. I see. Because sometimes I refer to English as a tool, and if it's a tool, we have there's no emotion behind it. So that's not really true, is it? Because there's a lot of emotion
Well,
behind using a language.
yeah, I mean, there is a lot of emotion behind using a language, but I do think you're right. English is a tool. It's not something to study and then put away. We're learning a language to do something with it. It's allowing us to get things done, whatever that is. Whether that's getting a new job, or communicating with people all around the world in English to create something in your job, or um, being part of a new family, even. If you join a family which is an English speaking family, for example, there are all kinds of reasons. But it is a tool to get things done because it allows you to do that. But I think one of those things that it allows you to get done is to connect with people and to build relationships. And it's a tool for doing that.
Mhm.
And obviously, yeah, is a lot of emotion involved with it as well. I think if we can start to see language learning as a holistic experience, then things will improve, because we're humans, we're sentient beings. We have feelings, we have emotions. We can't separate those from anything that we do.
Yeah. Mhm.
And not from language learning. So we should work with it and help our students, our clients, to manage that in a way that helps them to progress with their language skills.
Yeah. I see. Okay, one last question. So, I think I've understood from this interview, but why do you keep coming back to being a teacher? Why are you still an English teacher?
Because I don't, it's me. It's part of who I am. It's part of my identity. I enjoy it. It's obviously there are things we enjoy more and things we enjoy less. I mean, for example, yesterday, I had to correct exams for all afternoon. I don't enjoy that, but it comes with the job when I'm working in school, and it's part of it. But the whole thing about working online with adults, and the your English self, this thing that I've kind of created out of all these years of trying and testing and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work, and suffering as a language learner. I kind of, I suppose, don't want people to suffer the way I've suffered. And I tend to attract, for some reason, people who are very similar to me in a lot of respects. They suffer with confidence, they may be shy, a little bit introverted. And I really enjoy helping them see that there's another way.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
have to be the way that people have told them. Most of us at school are told that, this is the way to do it in a very traditional approach with a textbook. And, not that I say never use a textbook. I use a textbook, but,
Mhm.
there are so many other ways as well. A textbook is only one resource that you can use as part of your language learning practice. So yeah, I like to, I suppose, open people's eyes to another way of doing things.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think that's not my way of doing things, because I think my approach is about them finding their way.
Yeah.
So, it is about that. It's about, finding, there is no one size fits all.
Uh-huh.
That's a lie. You often get those clothes and it says one size fits all. It
Well,
doesn't. It
yeah.
doesn't look good on me, but it might. It's like,
One
you say one size fits all. Even hats, some of us have got much bigger heads than or a lot more hair. So yeah, there is no one size fits all. That's a lie.
Mhm.
So yeah, I really enjoy helping people find a way that works for them, and helping them get language out of their heads and into the
Mhm.
world, and do what they want to do with it,
Mhm.
because it is really, I often talk about it being a superpower. And a language, any language, is one of your superpowers if you can use it comfortably and feel confident doing that. And that's what I really enjoy helping people do, make it their superpower.
I can see that on your face. Thank you very much, Lisa. It was great speaking to you.
Yeah, great to speak to you too, Abby.
Thanks.